Welcome to Personal Finance B155 for fall of 2019. I'm going to be your instructor for the semester. My name is Rachel Cope, and I've taught this for a number of semesters now. And I think it's a really good course, for just life. Everybody has to deal with finances. I guess there's probably a rare occasion where you wouldn't have to, but most people do have to deal with finances, and this course gives a number of tools that help you deal with just the regular, ordinary things that we would deal with in life and our careers, things like retirement, insurance, just a really good practical course. So I want to take a few minutes and give you a quick little tour of the class. This is not meant to be in exclusion of reading the syllabus. I still want you to read the syllabus, but sometimes it's nice to just have somebody visually point out where things are at. So let's start with the syllabus, because if you haven't read that, go ahead and read that as soon as this video is over. But on the home page, there's the announcements button, which I just clicked off of. The announcements I use weekly to give you a course introduction to whatever chapters we're covering that week, and any housekeeping tasks of things that have went on in the last week that I need to touch base on. So I do use the announcements at least on Monday of every week, and then throughout the week if needed for any things that come up. So that's the announcements. That was the home page. Then under content, so right here under content, there's syllabus. So you can read through that. You can read through it online. You can print it off. Depends on which you prefer. I always kind of recommend that people print things off, and then they can refer to it as needed and write on it, make notes, that type of thing. Plus, you aren't always on your computer, so sometimes it's nice to refer to when you don't have your computer up and running, or you have lagging internet like I seem to be. But there we go. On the very last page of that syllabus gives you an overview of the course schedule for this fall. I have it broken up into 15 units, 15 weeks roughly. The first week and the last week aren't full weeks, so you can kind of look at it as the weeks or the units. Sometimes we have more than one chapter in each week or each unit. Depending on just kind of how it goes. We have 19 chapters and only 15 weeks to cover it, so we have to dice it up somehow. So please read over the syllabus. Let me know if you have any questions on the syllabus. Under the discussions, which I'll show you in a minute, there is a general discussion board that you can post questions that are not specific to personal privacy, grades, something like that, that you're comfortable letting the whole class know, because quite frankly, if you have a question, somebody else probably has a question. So post it there and I can answer it for everybody. Also, under, again, the content tab, I have Unit 1, that's all I've released so far, but I have the Unit 1 task sheet. I tend to be a paper person, so I tend to think everybody is, but under the Unit 1 task sheet, I have each unit, and I have broke down all the tasks that you can have. So it makes it nice if you, again, are a paper person. You can print off the task sheets and just kind of check them off as you do things. You don't have to. It's not required, but you do need to refer to this Unit 1 sheet to kind of make sure you've done everything every week. They're pretty simple laid out. Each week you need to read the chapter that we have assigned. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2 chapters. Then you have a discussion board, then you have homework, then you have a test. So read whatever chapter is assigned, discussion board, homework, and tests. So discussion boards, I have actually the first week is a little different because we have 2 discussion boards, an introduction to the class, just tell us about yourself a little bit. And then we actually have one relating to the content of this unit. Most weeks, well, not most weeks, all of the rest of the weeks you only have 1 discussion board question. Homework, I'll take you to that tab. Homework is a little different. I've never done it this way, and so I'm going to try it out this semester and see how it works. And I'll show you, but you need to actually go to the Assignments tab, and I'll actually just show you where that is. So the Assignments tab is under Activities, then go to Assignments, and under Assignments, there will be a, well, it'll say Unit 1. So Unit 1, you only have one chapter, you only have one homework. You have an Excel file here that you will need to download and complete and then upload. Now, if you don't have Excel, the college does have a free Office 365 that you'll need to take advantage of, or you'll have to go someplace where there's a computer with Excel, but the Office 365 that's offered through the college is perfectly fine, and it works well for anyone that doesn't have it. So when you open your homework, it's going to look like this. So the Chapter 1 homework assignment, they are all listed, oops, let me move that. They are all listed in multiple choice format. So when you list your answer, you just have to write A, B, C, D, or E. However, it is a little different where I don't have it set up, so it just auto grades, plug in your answer B, and then upload, and it'll automatically give you a response. I left it like this, so you still had the ability to give me what you thought was the answer, like say I want to write B as my answer, but in the comments, if you had trouble with the question, you're lost on the question, you could write your comments, and this gives us a tool to communicate back and forth. And so you can turn it in, I can look at it, see that you were totally lost in the comments, where you got lost, and then we can communicate back and forth and work on completing the assignment again in a better fashion. So the homework assignments are due by the end of the week. I will be allowing 2 attempts at all of the assignments up until probably the last week of class. I don't have enough time to give you 2 attempts, so you would have to do it earlier in the week. As long as there's time, you could have 2 attempts at the homework, but I want to make this more of something that we can work back and forth. So if I can tell that you were lost, or if you had a question on that problem and you can't tell if it was going to be B or D and this is why, we can work through it and I can help you without necessarily giving you the answer, but kind of nudging you along towards the correct answer. So once you've completed that, the comments box, you do not have to make a comment. If you figured it out and you believe that the answer is, I don't know, C, and you put C, you don't have to write anything. That's completely, it's not required. It's just more as a communication tool between you and I, so I can help you along if you do get stuck. So let's move off that. So where were we? We were on the task sheet. So that's the homework. Discussion boards, bouncing back to that, those are pretty basic. You answer the question, then you need to read through other people's posts and respond to 2 other people's posts. They're pretty, just conversationally, nothing super deep. I do want to know that you have fully thought through the question, so I'm looking for initial answers that are about 100 words, that you've actually thought through the question and made an attempt to kind of elaborate on your answer a little bit. Same with the classmates' responses that you're responding to 2 other people. Just try and do your best to make them about 25 words to make it look like you, well, not look, but attempted to communicate with that person instead of good post. That doesn't really count. You need to go a little deeper than that. Sometimes that can be hard on certain discussion boards, questions. I understand that, but again, you can't just go with 2-word posts. That doesn't count. Okay, so I showed you the homework. It is a little different. You will have to download it, complete it, then upload it, save it, and then upload it. And then as needed, I'll respond if you did great. Yeah, you don't have to take the 2 attempts, but I will leave room for 2 attempts. I'll put some feedback in there, and you can go back and look at it and be like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm happy with my score. Or you can be like, oh shoot, I was totally off base, and I want to redo that. And now I know what I'm supposed to do or where I got off track. So you can have 2 attempts. First attempt is absolutely due by the end of the week, though. Tests. Tests are located under the Exams tab. So you have activities, exams, and assignments. Under the exams tab, I have all the tests located, so it might be a little confusing that I don't name them exams, but they aren't exams. Exams implies to me big, huge, mid-semester, end of the semester, big exams. I don't do mid-semester or end of the semester exams. I do tests as we go along, so one test every chapter, and we have 19 chapters, so that means that again, in a unit, which is a week, we sometimes have more than one test that we have to do. So chapter 1 test, when you open those tests, they are all multiple choice. They're instantly graded, and so you know how you did on those tests. I don't have them timed, and they're open book. It's very hard to monitor whether a student has an open book or not. I don't time it, however, because I want you to look up the answer. If you don't know the answer, I want you to look it up. I want you to spend the time reading a couple pages and trying to find the answer. Sometimes it just clicks better when you have to work for it a little bit. So that's my philosophy when it comes to tests. So just kind of rehash again. Let's actually back up a second. Let's go to the discussions post really quick. And really quick is not going to move very fast. There we go. So the introductions, you need to introduce yourself. This is only the first week. And then the unit discussion boards are each week, what you're going to be doing as each unit comes along. So the first week, the Unit 1 discussion board, you have your questions. So you need to make your initial post by Wednesday of the week, and then you need to respond to 2 peers by Sunday night. Everything is due on Sunday night at midnight, except for the initial discussion board post, because we have to give time for everybody to find your post and respond to it. So we can't do that if you're all posting at 11:59 on Sunday. So initial post due on Wednesday, everything else is due on Sunday. My recommended path to completing your stuff is read the chapter, do the homework, then do the tests. So read the chapter, probably do the discussion board. I would do that first, then the homework, then the tests. It gives you a little bit more time to get through the material before you take the test. I know it's open book, but if you haven't read the chapter and don't even know where to begin to look for the material, that's not the time to sit down and try and read the chapter. So when you sit down and take your test, make sure you have stable internet. And if you get kicked out, which does happen, we are in northern Michigan, or most of us are in northern Michigan, and we don't have the blessing of having great internet all the time. So let me know if something happens. Usually I can tell on the way it looks on my end when a student has been kicked off, but let me know and I can reopen a test and give you another attempt at it. Okay. So primary areas, announcements, weekly, just check them. They're on the home page. As you get into the class, you're going to see them. Content, that's where your weekly task sheets are going to be, or your unit task sheets. They're kind of nice. You don't have to refer to them, but they're kind of nice to look through and see what you need to do for the week and tick it off as you've done it. Then we have our discussions. Complete those as needed throughout the week. And then under your activities are your exams and your homework assignments. So your tests and homework assignments are located there. And that should be everything you need to know to get around in this class. And good luck this semester.